Hello and welcome to this video on Moodle 5.1 Grades portal. So I'm going to go to Site Administration, then Grades, and then we're going to look at grades, report settings, and grade penalties. Under grades, we have general settings, grade category settings, grade item settings, scales, and letters. But let's start with general settings. For the grades, then we can decide grade roles. For example, in this case, who's going to be graded? In this case, students. User profile report, whether we're going to use it or not. So in this case, user report is set by default. Aggregation position, include scales in aggregation, and then all the other defaults. Enable publishing, no. Include feedback and export, grade exports. Okay, so all the different sections, primary grade export methods, open document, plain text file, Excel spreadsheet, probably the easier one, XML file, default grade export method, unlimited grades, show minimum grade, probably that's the one, grade point maximum 100, and default is 100. And then external URL where necessary. Says if an external gradebook is used, then the URL would have to be specified here. Personally, I've never used the grades on all the courses that I've worked on. It's never been used as a feature, and probably in the courses that I want to use or that I have in mind, I wouldn't have them as a feature. Grade category settings, then we have by default it says yes, hide 4 settings, aggregation, simple weight, mean of grades, available aggregation of grades, so mean of grades, weighted mean of grades, and then all the different options, median, lowest, highest, mode of grade, natural, exclude empty grades, yes, include outcomes in aggregation, no, keep the highest. This will probably be useful when you have highest grade, if there's an activity that you have where it gives percentages or points. In that case, I think it would be useful to have a look here. Then if we go back, we can see grade item settings, so individually, so for items or individually. In this case, it says grade display type, default is real, and you can have letters, percentages, or real actual grades or scale values. And that's probably that one, either percentage or real, I imagine would be the ones, if anything, I would use. You can use also overall decimal places. Going back then, we have scales and letters. Scales, I think, would be useful if you're using a specific scale, like, I don't know, CEFR or course-specific scales. Otherwise, I don't think I would be using them. Then if we go back, we have letters, and in this case, clearly we have between 93 and 100% letter A, the typical letter grades that are used. I've never really used them on any of the courses, maybe because I've been working on adult education, and so most of the students are not even students, we call them participants, and they're adults. Then we have report settings. I think this might be important in the sense that graded report. So in terms of grades, what is it that it is reporting if I want to see the grades of a specific participant? So you can show only active enrollments. And I think this is important because you don't want to see a report on grades of someone who's not actively participated on a course, or maybe a previous course, or maybe the course is not there anymore. So again, all the different possibilities. I think these are useful, but this will depend on the type of course and whether the course requires grades. In my experience, we haven't worked with grades because we assess, for example, whether someone meets the criteria when they complete the tasks, and we don't assign a percentage to the task. Then we have the overview. We can see grade history. We can see an overview report. So in this case, for example, whether it says whether to show the position of the student in relation to the rest of the class for each grade item. So again, that depends on the context and whether this is required. And then a user report, which means that we're going to see the rank. In this case, its default is no, but we could have it where the student ranks, the percentages, the grades, the feedback, the ranges, the weightings, the average, the letter grades, so for individual or groups, so user reports. So in that case, that would be useful. Grade penalties then support activities, and we can have enable activities are assignments. And in this case, the penalties, we could enable grade penalties for selected activities. And the last one is manage penalty plugins. So if there are any penalty plugins in this case, there's one, but it is not enabled. And that's basically our grades portal. Thank you for watching.